Borderlands 2 is a weapon manufacturer for any playstyle, arguably one of the most unique ones being Tediore. Tediore's special trait makes their guns go boom boom when you reload. Now what if you're addicted to pain? What if you decided to ask a question no sane Borderlands 2 player would ever ask? Can you beat Borderlands 2 with only Tediore reloads? Before we get into the run though, we're gonna have to lay down some rules. Tediore reloads are the only source of damage allowed. Vehicles are allowed, I just can't do damage with them. Accidental vehicular manslaughter is the only exception. In order to make a Tediore gun go boom boom, you need to expend a bullet from the magazine, so I'm allowed to shoot the ground before reloading. Alright nipple connoisseurs, grab your purple Kool-Aid jammers and a bag of popcorn twists, because we're about to delve into our dollar store football fantasy. The first thing I had to do is name my character. I named this Spanish midget after a handsome friend of mine with a sexy ass haircut and started the run. Our boy Claptrap was talking about how safe his home was, but got straight up fisted right in his eye hole 5 seconds later. So you already know your second favorite Borderlands 2 YouTuber had to get Claptrap's eye back. Unfortunately, I'll have to kill enemies with my melee attack until I can get my sweet grippers on a Tediore gun, so I played fisty patty cake with some boner farts, killed Knuckle Dragger, got Claptrap's eye, killed some bandits, met Sir Sledgehammer me daddy cock, and fixed Claptrap's eye before I got my first Tediore gun. Now I can officially start the run. I killed a few naughty dingleberries and was nipple to nipple with Boom Boom. I killed them decently fast and pushed on to Captain Flint. We mingled till he tingled and I set sail to blow more dudes in Pandora. Activating Scooter's Catch a Ride was the first time I contemplated whether I wanted to waste my life doing gaming challenges or eat a ham and cheese sandwich with one hand and get my testicles stomped with the other. And considering the fact this isn't even a boss fight, really sent a shiver down my Calvin Klein undies. Anyways, I got the Catch a Ride up and running and was now ready to get to Sanctuary, but I had to save Corporal Reese first. Unfortunately, your boy Uncle Zerk couldn't save him in time, so I took out my anger on these dingleberries faster than a dad with a drinking problem and got the power core to nourish Sanctuary's ever-growing need for sustenance and artificial phallus. I found an echo log that told me to go to Frostburn Canyon, so without hesitation I went there to find my chocolate tsunami Roland. But after fighting through Frostburn Canyon I was hit with instant depression, because instead of chocolate tsunami, I was met with the dollar store lava girl from the award-winning TV show Ninjago. Anyways, I gave Lilith her dose of Xanax and we straight up collabed on some bandit orifice. Lilith then told me we would find our chocolate hunk of testosterone in Bloodshot Stronghold. But when I tried going into the Bloodshot Stronghold, Scooter told me I had to get a bandit car, or we couldn't get into Bloodshot Stronghold and save Roland. So I met up with Lady Chesticles, destroyed some bandit cars, and made my own car. At this point, my ween was tingling, and I knew I was close to Roland. But first I had to fight Badma. Apart from constant ammo issues, Badma wasn't too hard, so I pushed through Bloodshot Stronghold and finally found our chocolate stud, but he was kidnapped directly after. At this point, my dedication was at an all-time high and I was ready to get Roland back. I kid you not, this was the first time I ever had to go to the friendship gulag to kill Warden in my entire Borderlands 2 career. Warden must have had some kind of explosive resistance because this robo-phallus was taking a micro-penis worth of damage every reload, which unfortunately meant leveling up was a must, so I leveled up a few times and finally took down the Warden. Now that Roland was saved, it was time to hijack a train so we could steal the vault key. So I met with Tiny Tina and she told me I had to get Mushy Snugglebites and Felicio Sexo Pants' Badonkadonks if I wanted to hijack this bad boy. So I got the Badonkadonks, blew up the train, and was more than ready to fight Wilhelm. Wilhelm turned out to be easier than taking candy from a paraplegic, so I took the power core Wilhelm dropped and nourished Sanctuary with it, but it was a trap. And now the only option was to get Sanctuary in the air. So I gave Lilith her dose of Xanax and she moved Sanctuary to the air, teleporting me away in the process. Defending the beacon and Outlook to get Sanctuary back wasn't too hard, considering there was an ammo vendor right there, so I got Sanctuary back on the fast travel and it was now time to get Claptrap a hardware upgrade, since that shit was more expired than the condoms in a Bull Cup boy's junk drawer. Anyways, I fought through Wildlife Exploitation Preserve and was now ready to straight up blow that bird's sweet ass. So I gave Claptrap Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, gave him a high five, and it was now time to deliver a note to the absolute hunk of testosterone, Brick. I survived the initiation, met Brick, delivered the note, and killed the sarcastic slap. Brick and I then pressed our asses together and collabed on these robotic dingleberries like it was going out of style. We took out the mortar beacons, and with that it was time to get a voice modulator so we could sound like Jack and get into the control core Angel. I got the voice modulator no problem, but then an instant sorrow shivered down my rectum. You see, these turrets, before the badass constructors, couldn't be killed with Tediore reloads. This made me piss out my eyeballs because the only way to kill them was shooting them. But I couldn't give up yet, because I had to face my biggest PTSD from the last run, the badass Constructor. To sum it up, this is the biggest piece of skag feces of every Borderlands 2 challenge run, because he had Tediore explosive resistance, and this fight was going to be even harder than it needed to be. After many horrific deaths and many hours wasted, I finally decided to level up and come back ready to blow this Constructor so hard his robotic anus would straight up detach from his gluteus maximus. So after about 40 minutes of camping in his corner, throwing over this ledge and running away every time he deployed his nuke, I finally destroyed him and was ready to kill the bunker. So I rubbed myself up with some Aveeno, put on my mankini, and got my explosives ready. Fueled with the burning anger from the badass Constructor, I took down the bunker on my first try. That's right, boys. Just like the last run, Bunker was straight Weenie Hut Jr. compared to that goddamn badass Constructor. Anyways, we got into Control Core Angel, and because my Schmied is basically the Dollarama equivalent to Spidey Sense, the tingles told me the vault key was nearby. Anyways, since Angel kept giving us ammo and we had 2 people helping us fight, it honestly wasn't that bad. I destroyed the Uridium injectors, which made Handsome Jack angry, so I took out his anger by pumping Roland full of lead and kidnapping Lilith. Luckily, Lilith teleported us away in time. Mordecai told me to go to Uridium Blight, so like a woman in 1894, you bet your sweet ass I obeyed. Anyways, I tried getting into Arid Nexus and acted surprised when they raised the bridge, like I didn't have 500 hours in this game. So I took a detour to Sawtooth Cauldron where I had to pick up some supply crates so I can cross the bridge to get to Arid Nexus. But when I tried using the elevator to go pick up the supply crates, I was ambushed. So I killed all the baddies in the ambush squad, and Brick updated the plan. He told me to destroy Mortar's prized buzzard. So I destroyed his buzzard, and sure enough, it worked. Mortar came down the elevator just as planned, so I blew him real good and rode the elevator up to the buzzard's nest. I have to say, these buzzards were a real pain in my wang. I kept missing my throws, but after a long 20 minutes or so, I destroyed them, marked the crates for pickup, and jumped off the buzzard's nest. It was now finally time to head to Arid Nexus. Mordecai told me to overflow the pumping station so I can burst the pipe and head to the next area. And even though the enemies were a higher level and I got gangbanged numerous times, your boy overflowed the pump stations and burst the pipe. We then crawled through this artificial colon and made our way to the Hyperion info stockade. I'll have you know that I absolutely killed Saturn. I mean, I'm 500 pounds of pure masculinity. You really think I wouldn't kill him? Anyways, I skipped most of the enemies in the stockade and downloaded the warrior location, meaning we are finally almost done with this titty twist of a Borderlands 2 challenge that only someone as mentally unstable as me would ask. So I grabbed Claptrap and went to Uridium Blight, where I defended Claptrap while he hacked the door, and I actually kind of enjoyed myself for once. But little did I know that fun was going to come to an end. The second I got into Heroes Pass, I instantly knew what being fisted with sandpaper felt like. All the enemies were a much higher level than me, and the sad realization that leveling up was a must hit me harder than my dad's belt on a Sunday morning. So I farmed Bunker for around 3 hours and came back to Heroes Pass, ready to end this cock and ball torture. I fought through Heroes Pass, and for some reason, the badass Constructor didn't spawn. But hey, I'm not complaining. It was now finally time to kill Jack. It took over half an hour to kill Jack, but I eventually got him. But now it was time for the real boss fight, the Warrior. I kid you not, I spent an hour poking at his chest hemorrhoid only to disconnect from the game halfway through killing him.
Are you fucking kidding me? You're fucking joking.
Even though this shit had me mad pissed off, I still came back to finish the fight. And after an hour and a half of mangling, I finally had my way with the Warrior, and my sanity was finally restored. So can you beat Borderlands 2 with only Tediore reloads? Well, yes and no. Although I couldn't kill the turrets in front of the badass Constructor earlier, I'm pretty sure my dumbass was missing my throws without even realizing it. So I'd say, yes, you can beat Borderlands 2 without guns. Thanks for watching to the end. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe to support future cock and ball torture.